Greetings hobbyists, this is Artisans of Vaul. And in this video we're creating a bookshelf to demonstrate some of the things we can do with the new array modifier in Blender 5. So I've already done a full breakdown of everything we can do with the array modifier in Blender 5, but that isn't a great demonstration of it being used in an actual project, so I thought I'd do something that demonstrates what we can do with it. So I'm just going to Shift A and bring in a cube, and we're going to start by making a bookshelf. So let's just bring out our end panel and item, and we'll start playing around with this. Now, we're just going to make these quite nice rounded numbers to be relatively easy, and so that people can follow along and do this exactly the same. You'll notice I'm not using metric units, I'm using Blender units. I find that very useful for 3D printing, so you can do this with whatever units you choose, but I'm sticking with Blender units. So for the Y, let's change that to 10, so that's going to be the width of our shelves, and for our Z axis, we'll change that to, let's say, 50. So that's going to be the height of our bookshelf. Let's just G and Z that up. I should say, I also don't have screencast keys. That's not me having forgot to put them on. They don't work in the beta version of Blender 5, so I can't show them at the moment. Now, at this point, we're just going to Shift and D to make another version of this. But we're going to want to change this, so we're now going to have the height in the Z-axis being 2, and we're going to want the width in the X-axis to be, I don't know, let's say 40. Maybe that's a bit much. Let's go 30. Yeah, that should look about right. Let's bring that down to this corner to be one of our shelves. So to do that, I'm going to click up here, make sure that I've got vertex on as my snap target. Okay, you can have multiple versions of these, so I like having edge and face selected as well. You just hold down Shift to select multiples of them, and then we're going to bring that corner down to here. So G to start grabbing, B to activate snap base and click that corner. Click it to that corner, and we're good to go. Okay, so pretty easy so far. So let's deal with the other side of this. Now for this, because our origin is dead center of this shelf, which makes this really easy. If for any reason it's not, you can go to Object, Set Origin, and Origin to Geometry, and that will fix that. But we don't need to, so I'm going to come here and we're going to add in a mirror modifier. So come to the array, Shift A, and mirror. There we go. Click our pipette, click on there, and it's already working because we want it in the X. So perfect, easy. Now we're going to need to make multiples of these shelves. And bear in mind, I set this as having a height of 50. This should be relatively easy to do. Let's just Control and A and apply the scale for this, which wouldn't have been an issue here, but it's just good practice to do it. And once again, we're going to do another array. So Shift A, array. And we want to do this not as a relative, but as a fixed offset. We want to do this in the Z direction. So let's change our translation to 0. And our Z, we need to move up to, well, somewhere which would work, which would be about here. Now, I don't like guessing this, and while I know this is 50, we could start doing the maths of working out how many shelves we've got and so on and so forth, but that seems quite wasteful. What I'm going to do instead is go to endpoint, and I know that this shelf is exactly 50 high. Now, what we're going to do is type into this endpoint 50, and this is going to look slightly off. So what we need to realize is that this object has a thickness of 2. Now, if you ever want to check that, you'd think, well, we can check this over here, but at the moment the Z dimension is massive. What we can do is just turn off our real-time display of our array modifier. Now this will tell us what our actual thickness is. Put this back and it includes all of the array. So we don't need this to be 50, we need this to be 50 minus 2. There we go. So we've now got that working. And we can have this now as 3 shelves or 4 shelves, and it doesn't change each time. So this endpoint is really nice. Let's go with that, shall we? Let's have 3 sets of books. Okay, so let's start with the books. And this is the bit where we're going to have, I'm not going to say an issue, but something to overcome. So let's just Shift A, Mesh, bring in a cube, and we'll start making some books. Let's bring that here. Let's put this on the Y-axis to be, again, up to 10. So it's the same width as our bookshelf. So there. And we'll add some height. So I said somewhere there. That looks about right. Again, we can do the same snap base trick. So GB, we'll click there and then come to this corner. There we go. So that's our book. but I think I want this to be a bit thicker as well. So let's go somewhere there, and then we're going to have to do that again. So I'm just going to Shift and Z to go into X-ray mode, GB, click there, and then go to that corner. Here we go. Right, let's Control and A and apply the scale, and let's make this a bit more book-like. So Tab 2, click that edge and that edge, Control and B, and we'll just round that off, something like there. You'll notice that I've left a bit of a gap in the middle, and let's go a little bit more than we probably need to, because it's probably going to get seen from here. But let's make it so if someone looks a bit closer, we can see that there is a cover here. So once again, Tab 3 to go into face mode. Let's isolate this with our / button. Click, Shift click, and then I'm going to I to inset those somewhere about there, and then Alt and E, and we're going to extrude faces along normals, and that allows us to just bring that in a bit, somewhere about there. There we go. So here's our book. Great. Let's array this book. We want multiple books. So Shift A, Array. In our modifier panel, we're going to keep relative because we want this to be 1 across each time. If you want to have a little gap between each book, you could do, but I'm going to leave this as 1. And I can up my count until we fill this out. Maybe let's just do 1 less there. Or we could do 1 more, and I could just scale this in. So let's S and then X, and then just do it to about that point. There we go. So that's looking nice. Now, this is going to be the fun bit, because we have the randomize button. We can now start randomizing the size of our books. This looks far too uniform unless you've got like one massive set of books that all look the same. So we're going to start randomizing these. We want them to look different. So what we're going to do is on our randomize, we're going to change our scaling. For our scale axis, we don't want this uniform. We're going to click axes, and I can change the height of some of them. There we go. Great. Except this isn't great. We suddenly get these floating books. Well, why is that? The main reason here is that this works off of the center point of our object, which is our origin. So everything is going to scale towards that middle point. So what we need to do is move our origin down so that everything's scaling from the bottom upwards. And to do that, we hit Options, Transform Options, and go to Origin. And now I'm controlling my origin here. I can click G, and now I'm moving my origin around. Now, while you've still got this axis here showing for our array, this is actually the blue point here that we want. So G, Z, and we're going to come all the way down here, and I'm going to hit Control, and it will snap to the bottom bit here. So now our scaling of height works really nicely. Now actually I want to do the same thing where we scale this in our width. So let's just isolate these books for a second, and we're going to do the same thing of moving our origin. So G, notice if we haven't clicked up here and clicked off of this, it still keeps controlling the origin. So G, Y, and move along, and I'm going to hold Control and once again go to this corner. Now remember to turn this off, otherwise you're going to have a problem when you try to do something later. Let's come out of isolation mode, and we can once again change our scaling on our y-axis so we get some books of varying different sizes. Brilliant. So there we go. This is starting to look pretty nice as a bookshelf. Now, what I do want to do is make multiples of these, so let's just Shift and D and Z. We're going to bring this up to here, and then I'm just going to Shift and R to do that again. So we've got our multiple sets of books. But, slight issue, they're all identical. This doesn't look very good. It's a bit too predictable. You'd often see this like in computer games back in the 90s, where you'd have something and it's just repeated again and again and again, and it just looks lazy. Luckily, this is very easy to solve. If I click here, you'll notice if we scroll down on our modifier that we have an option called Seed. And if we change this seed, now we have a different set of randomizations. And this one, if I put it to 1, well, it will look the same as the one below. So let's change it to 2. There we go. We've got different randomizations each time. Now, one thing you will notice is that this often has exclude the first. We can also exclude the last as well. But that means that the first book is always going to look the same. So let's turn that off here, and let's turn that off there. So now I would say we've got a really good set of random bookshelves. Now, I'm very happy with this, but there is one limitation that I should point out, and that is what we can't really do, however we fiddle around with this, is randomize the thickness of our book, the scale on the x-axis, because if we do, we start getting a gap between them. I would really like a way of being able to set this up so that it actually has, whatever we do, one book flat up against the next book. There must be a way of doing this. I'm going to hunt around and have a look. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do this using this randomize from the current array modifier, but either way, this does look very, very nice. It's just not perfect at this point. Now, there is one other thing that's not quite perfect about this, and that is that we could, if we really wanted to, and without using any geometry nodes, it's all pretty simple to do, we could set this up so this will be able to be modified really quickly and everything will adjust to those modifications. I'll be clear about this again, this is not a geometry node setup. We don't need to start editing the geometry node modifiers here to be able to do this. It just uses a few tricks and some pretty simple maths to be able to work. Do let me know if you'd be interested in a video on that. I appreciate I'd be effectively showing the same thing of how to make a bookshelf but in two different ways, but if people are interested in this more complex version, do let me know and I'll make a video for that as well. But either way, I will put that more complex file up on the Patreon, so if you are a patron, you'll get access to that and you can have a look at what I've done. Speaking of which, if you are interested in supporting the channel, a like is always really appreciated, but there's also a link in the description to that Patreon page where you get these videos a week early, ad-free, and you get some downloadable files each month, depending on if you choose to pick that tier. Hope to see you in the next video, and have a great day.